Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to look at 100 Acre Wood Fluxx. This is going to be a Winnie the Pooh themed version of Fluxx. Now, this one's going to be, as you can see, like based on the literary work. So if your kids watch like the Disney's Winnie the Pooh, the art's going to be different. However, this one here has beautiful art inside of it, and I think a really good version of Fluxx. But let's go ahead down the table here, and I'm going to show you how to play Fluxx, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. All right, so we're going to look at the 100 Acre Wood Fluxx game. I'm going to show you how to play it. Before I go into the main play here, I wanted to mention that there is a solo variant for this game. This solo variant, you can actually backtrack into any of the versions of Fluxx that were ever created by going to their website, and it will show you which cards to remove. So in this case here, we're going to remove all these cards for this set here. For the solo Fluxx. I'm going to show you how to play solo Fluxx here in a little bit, but we're going to start off with the original Fluxx and how to play that. So I wanted to show some of these cards off. Now, in each version of Fluxx, there's going to be a slightly different mix of like goals. Some of them have like creepers and stuff. So all of them have a slightly different mix to them, but there's going to be a good amount of like themed cards. So here's like one of the keepers here, themed cards for the deck. Now, what you're trying to do in this game is you are going to be trying to match the goal with the keepers that you have in play. So this goal here is Rabbit at Home. You're going to need to have Rabbit's House and Rabbit. If you have both of these out, even if it's not your turn, and this goal is out, you're going to win the game. And like you can see, all these goals are going to be themed in the Winnie the Pooh theme. And all the keepers are going to be themed in the Winnie the Pooh theme. So that's two of the things that you have available to you. You can have goals and keepers, but the meat of the game is actually going to be in these action cards and rule cards that change the game. Here's some more keepers that I'll show you, and we're getting into the action cards. Now, there are going to be handful of cards that are going to be specific to the theme for both the actions and the rules cards here. So in these action cards, here's one of them that's going to be specific to Winnie the Pooh. The Flood, beginning by discarding the current goals. Next, all the following cards that are in play must also be discarded. Pooh's House, Pooh's Rabbit's House, the River, Stick Pine Trees, the 100 Acre Wood. Lastly, if Christopher Robin is in play, move all of the following cards that are in play to the player who has Christopher Robin: Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, Eeyore, Rabbit, Kangaroo, and Tigger. So there's going to be a couple of these specific to the theme of 100 Acre Words, like Expedition to the North, Sticky Situation, Very Little Brain, You Wish is Granted, Zap. These ones are going to be normal. And then, so those are going to be actions. We get actions, you can play them. You're going to have a draw and a play limit in the game. We'll go over that in a minute. But the other thing that happens in the game, the other card type here, is going to be new rule. Now, I will mention really quick, really briefly, there are also creeper cards. And these creeper cards aren't present in the 100 Acre Wood Fluxx version, but they are present in some other versions of Fluxx. So there's going to be rules specifically themed to 100 Acre Woods, and then the normal ones that you would get in the game. Like here's Child Bonus. That's not one. There's going to be a couple more in here. This got a little shuffled, so I tried to undo it. But anyway, I think there's like 4 rules in here that are Winnie the Pooh specific. Oh, and I'll show you the meta rule here in a second. Yeah, like Buddy Bonus. But yeah, there's a couple of them here. Let me go ahead and shuffle this up, and I'm going to show you how to play Fluxx. All right, couple caveats, and then we're going to get into the rules here. Or how to play. So anyone can leave or enter a game of Fluxx at any time. If someone enters the game of Fluxx, you're going to deal them in 3 cards. If they leave the game of Fluxx, you just discard the cards they had it to the discard pile. But yeah, so people can go in and out of a Fluxx game. The Fluxx game here is going to have a variable length. Normally it ends fairly quickly, but it doesn't end until someone gets the keepers they need to match the goal. And everyone's going to get 3 cards to start the game, and you can randomly decide who goes first. And the base rules that start is draw 1, play 1. So on my turn, I have these 2 goals and a new rule. I draw a card, and I got this action here. So let's simplify. Well, there's no rules to kill for this, so that would be a bad one. I could place out this goal. What's this? Is it a bell or pull? I need Winnie the Pooh and Eeyore. I could play this, hand limit 3. So I could place this out and I'd have a new roll of hand limit 3. Then if no one else plays any other new rules, it would come to me and I get a new card. Just draw 1, play 1. And this says rhyme time. If I play this card, rhyme time, you may speak with a rhyme in your turn time. Draw an extra card. If you like to make an extra play, a second rhyme you'll need to say. So I can put that down, and now I can get an extra draw and extra play, and everyone else can too. So if I would do a rhyme when it came to my turn, I would draw 1 card and then draw another card, and I can get another card by playing a rhyme. Now there's also going to be a card like this I can play. This is going to be Plushie Power. If there are any plush players in the game, each plushie immediately draws 2 extra cards, while the primary human companions each draw 1 extra card. So that's pretty interesting and fun. But you're going to be placing down these goals. I'm going to cheat a little bit here. And you're eventually going to start putting down these keepers here. So you can get some keepers in the game. They'll come out. And at any point, with all these different cards that can play, at any point, you match the goal that's in the middle, you'll win the game. The rules will keep changing throughout the game here. So I got to draw 2. So now you're going to draw 2 cards. There'll be action cards that change those up. But yeah, so once a goal, so let's say I get this keeper out here. We're going to find a goal that matches. And there's a good bit of goals in here, so I don't know why I'm having a little bit of difficulty finding one that I like here. Oh, yeah, maybe because half the deck's here. But if I ever have a goal that matches, even if it's not my turn, I will win the game. So let's say... All right, so let's say later on I get this Tigger here, someone steals my honey away from me, and then a person has to play this card. A lot of times that'll happen. I would immediately win because I have a Tigger, and the honey is not in play anywhere because the honey just went away for some reason. I would immediately win the game even if it wasn't my turn because my keepers match the goal. And that's it. That's going to be the game of Fluxx. You're going to go through, and that's your goal here. A lot of times I suggest that you're going to play multiple games of the Fluxx. Just maybe, just count it as like who had the most wins after 5 rounds or something. But it's a lot of fun. So new to me, there's also going to be solo rules that they have worked on and so graciously actually applied to all previous versions of Fluxx. Again, you're going to have to go to their website to see the list of cards that you have to remove for the solo version. So in this case, in this rulebook, they'll be here. These are the cards you need to remove. And basically what you're going to be doing in this version of Fluxx is you're going to be trying to get as many goals as you possibly can. So there's a couple things you're going to need to do to set up for this solo game, other than just take out specific cards. You're also going to divide the deck into a deck of rules. So you'll have a deck of rules that you'll have shuffled, and you'll have a deck of non-rules. Then you're going to shuffle both of those decks, and you're going to draw 3 cards from the main deck, which will not have any rules in it. Then you're going to take your first turn. So you're going to toggle between taking a turn and adding a new rule. So during your turn, draw the number of cards indicated, then play the number of cards required. So in this case, you have the base rules out. You're going to be drawing 1, play 1. When rules come out, you're going to have like different things that you're going to need to do. So after your turn ends, draw a rules card and place it out and do what it says. So like if it has a hard hand limit and you're above it, you need to discard some cards. If you need to remove some rules, do it. Otherwise, it'll apply on your turn. Anytime you meet the conditions of the current goal, move the goal to the score pile. So make a score pile somewhere in here for you to score for your solo game. And the game ends as soon as either deck runs out. So you'll have those two decks, and you're going to keep on going. And your goal for this solo one is just to have completed the most goals possible. And that's it. That's going to be how you play the solo one. And it gets more difficult to do the solo version when you have games with creepers and stuff like that, and gives you a good challenge. This one's pretty nicely balanced, so this would be a great one if you wanted to play solo Fluxx to get started with playing that. So that's going to be how you're going to play 100 Acre Wood Fluxx. Let's go ahead back up to the table here, and I'll give you my final thoughts on the game. All right, so that was 100 Acre Wood Fluxx. This is great component quality, same component quality you can expect from any of the Fluxx line card games there. Now on to the game itself. Now this one doesn't have creepers, and I actually do enjoy creepers in a lot of the Fluxx versions, but that wasn't missed on here because it doesn't really make sense for this theme. I think the theme was well laid into this game here. I think they put a lot of thought into the different goals and some of the action cards that they had in here. I thought that was really nice. Overall, really nice version of Fluxx. Fluxx as a game itself is pretty fun. It's a very casual, like party style game. So if you want to play with friends and family, Fluxx might be up your alley for that. If you like Winnie the Pooh and you like the older art, this is going to be the Fluxx version for you if you like that. Like I said, there is a lot of different versions of Fluxx, and they have a lot of different themes. So if you liked how the 100 Acre Wood Fluxx played in the How to Play, worry not if you don't like Winnie the Pooh theme. There are a ton of themes of Fluxx, a lot, and pretty much any theme that you like is going to have a Fluxx version. My particular favorite is the Marvel Fluxx version. But with that said, that's my thoughts on 100 Acre Wood Fluxx. Thank you for watching.